Hi, I'm Rhenda.
I'm Jim.
We're Heartiness Approach. You might notice something different. No, we have not moved into this gorgeous mansion, but we can think about it.
Yeah, we've drawn you into our dream.
And we'll let you decide by the end what you think we've done.
I'm home.
He's back. We don't work well together. I mean, apart. We were both so busy, I'm not sure we knew we were apart. How was Oregon for you?
You know, it was a great week for me. I mean, it was work, okay, and I got to learn a lot, see a lot, do a lot, which is fantastic. Oregon itself, things are blooming.
You guys, it's green there. I like, now tell me again why we left. I'm rethinking this. But he got to be with grandkids, and he got to do some really great stuff with his mentor in his insurance office, and so that was great.
It was.
And he came back a day early, which was great, really great. But he stopped and bought me something, so we're going to show you what he bought me.
This is where I went. Look at this.
Okay, you gonna bring things over and show me?
Yeah.
I haven't even seen him yet. So I want you to picture this. I send him to Bob's Red Mill, and I'm on the phone with him, and I am saying, yes, I want this, yes, I want this, and I says, oh wait, can you go get this? Oh wait, can you go get that? And he goes, Rhenda, I've gone back and forth 3 times. I look really stupid.
I was catching attention.
Okay, so we got 100% stone ground whole wheat organic flour. You can kind of see through it, can't you?
It's transparent flour.
I didn't get very much because you don't want to get very much because it can go bad. And then I had him get pastry flour. Was that the pastry flour? Or is it? Oh, this is pastry flour. Transparent. So that I can do stuff, make stuff I don't make.
Stuff.
Make
like
stuff.
We're going to make pillows and
brownies and cookies. We don't do that. But anyway. Faro. And I realize it's backwards to you guys. Sorry about that. But Faro is a really great, ooh, this is cut open. I'm gonna put some tape on that. Faro is a really great grain for cereals and other ways to eat things. What is this? Did you write down what it was? Uh-oh.
You can look it up. I got the numbers that came off of the bins.
What do you think it is?
Let's see, that is... What all did you have me get?
That looks like a rice. No.
No, this is the rice.
Okay, pull another one out.
Well, I'll pull the easy ones out.
Yeah. Oh.
It's trying to come open.
Oh. Non-GMO popcorn. 2 different kinds. And explain their non-GMO there, what they do.
Well, you know, I asked them, do you have organic? And they said, you know, some of what we have is organic, but we've really stopped striving to have things that are only organic because everything we have is non-GMO. That's our guarantee.
And the thing is that we don't have organic on our farm, but we don't use sprays or anything, and most people don't that are doing small things. So they make sure. We've been to several places where they don't.
Yeah.
Okay, this is basmati brown, long grain basmati brown rice.
Yes.
Organic.
Yes.
It was organic.
Yes.
And this is flaxseed, golden flaxseed, organic.
Yep.
We'll have to look at our list. Oh, maybe it's on there.
berries?
It's rye berries, because rye is such good, good for you. Did you not get buckwheat?
Yeah.
Did we get buckwheat? That's not buckwheat. That's millet.
They didn't have buckwheat.
They didn't have buckwheat. I wanted buckwheat. So this is our millet that we got. And the reason I wanted millet is because it's a really, really healthy grain. So millet has calcium, copper, iron, and magnesium in it. It is gluten-free. And not that we're going gluten-free, but we are toning down some of the grains that we use, and especially not using refined flours and things like that. So.
Well, plus using grains that haven't been as modified over time, because there were some changes that took place not that many years ago.
Not that many years.
And how some of the qualities of grains, and it has made them better in some ways, but it's, in the opinion of a lot, has caused some of the.
They're much higher in gluten.
Yeah, they've made changes so that it can grow better, be harvested better, and so on and so forth. But in the process, the quality of the grain itself has been altered. And in some estimations, it's okay what's happened, but in others, it's created problems.
And it's much, much higher in gluten.
Yeah.
Okay. Jim was gone all week, and I had to do everything that was here, and I had to go and do something out in the yard. I wasn't going to tell you guys about this, but then a secondary happened with it, and so now I'm sharing, because what's happened to me, hopefully will be able to help everyone. So if you remember back a year ago, this next month, March 19th, for a matter of fact, when I was doing a little cartwheel and I broke this bone right here. I consequently had, you can see the scar, consequently had 3 surgeries. It's still never going to be right, but I can bend it. It's still painful in here. Then this fall, when we were canning peaches, I sliced my thumb really, really good here and had to have stitches. First stitches I've ever had in my whole life, I might add. And it got infected like within just a few days. And it never healed right. Well, now down in here, I have a lump. And I went to the doctor this week about it, and he thinks it's a ganglion cyst. I don't know, but he has given me an appointment to go back to the doctor that did the 3rd surgery on this so that we can determine what I have here. Then you see this right here.
It's a little fresher than the others.
I was dumping something out in the sagebrush, and I have these snow boots that I stuck my feet down into and put on, and it has a metal eyelet, and the metal eyelet of this one looped around the shoestring on this one. And you know, if you're walking, all of a sudden your feet are together, you go down. It knocked the wind completely out of me. And I was carrying something in this hand, and it smashed my hand down, and we thought maybe I had broke something in here. So I went in to the doctor by myself because he was still in Oregon, and they took X-rays, and they said, no, it's not. And I said, well, I'm icing it. They, of course, want you to take lots of ibuprofen, which I don't do. So I just took 1. I said, I'll take 1. And everything seemed fine. Went to bed, woke up, and this was not even, you couldn't even see any indentions. I couldn't bend my hand whatsoever. And so I called, and they said, yep, come back in. The radiologist had looked at it and hadn't seen anything, but I could tell that there was something like in the knuckles here. So I went into the doctor yesterday, and doctors do what doctors know how to do, and that is prescribe drugs. And he said, "Oh my word, it's so much worse." Well, you can imagine, to give them credit, they can't just let you out of their sight by seeing something that is bad. They can't do that, right? They have to do something for you. So he said, "I would like to give you 2 shots. One is a Toradol, which is a hyped up, very strong ibuprofen, non-steroid. And then the other one was a steroid shot." I said, "I really don't do medications." He goes, "Yeah, I know." And that's why he wanted to do it, because he knew if he gave me a medication, I wouldn't take it. So I thought, here I'm sitting with this.
Well,
thing.
it was worrisome. I mean, it was kind of scary.
So, okay, Jim had gone out, and I called him back in. I says, "Come in and hold my hand." So I had one in each side, and within 3 hours, I was very nauseated, and the nausea was still there this morning. But I woke up. This was completely down. I could bend it again.
A little bit of pain.
It's still got a little bit of pain in here, but nothing like it was. And I'm like, whoa. Okay.
So it did its job.
It did its job. So I'm a nurse, but understand, I don't know every single medication, and it's been a long time since I've allowed steroids to be used. And so I'm sitting this morning looking at, well, really, what is a steroid? I know it. Okay, what is it? Well, a steroid is a very, very strong anti-inflammatory. And what happened is it takes away your immune response to be able to have all those little things that cause that inflammation to not happen.
So it's systemic. It's not.
I asked him, I said, "Is this going to be systemic?" I thought he was just doing something to hear. And he goes, "Oh, no, it's systemic," meaning it's going to do your whole body. In the afternoon, yesterday, I started getting congested. I woke up in the middle of the night with a sinus infection. And I'm like, I didn't think anything about it until I'm reading this, and it immediately had taken out my immune system. And so then I'm like, well, how long does it last? So I Google it. 1 to 2 months this shot will last. 1 to 2 months. So then I'm like, okay, I'm in trouble here, and this is where I want to share with you guys. What do we need to do to boost our immune system when we had to be on steroids? Little side point here. He says, "I'm writing you a prescription for prednisone because I really like you to get it filled and continue to use it." And I'm looking at him. He goes, "I know you're not going to, but I am giving it to you."
She's got that look,
So I looked up how to do what we need to do to keep our immune system strong if we're on steroids. The number one, of course, is going to be your diet. To be able to eat lots of fruits and vegetables and antioxidants and probiotics so that it keeps putting all that in. So diet, all the things we've been talking about forever, only on steroids, meaning do it more. Stay away from trans fats and eat lots of whole grains and those kind of things, right? Right?
Yep.
Okay. Number 2 is to learn a way to not allow stress to affect our body.
They said yoga, meditation.
You guys, it's ironic because lately I've been thinking of how important stress, the lack of stress is, but we all have stress, and stress just inundates our bodies, and we just go on.
Yeah.
I mean, you do it.
We
everybody.
all do it. What are you going to do?
And so you're going to start taking care of yourself. So we are going to stop for a while. And I have been doing this. Stop in the afternoon. If you get sleepy, take a nap. You're at work. Go to your car and rest.
You'll be healthier. You're going to feel better. You're going to have more energy.
We don't all have to live the New York lifestyle.
You don't get more done because you work harder. You get more done because you have the ability to get more done, and you'll do that by feeling healthier and stronger, more energy, more vigor, all of that. And you're going to get that by reducing your stress instead of depleting
But
your body.
consciously saying, what is it that's got me stressed? I'm going to give you an example of this weekend. We had a lot of things we were doing. They were fun things, important things, and we got them done.
Yep.
I got up this morning. I'm like, man, I lost my weekend. He goes, what do you mean? I said, well, I didn't have any downtime. And I realized I have got to look at things differently. Did you have a good time while you were doing those things? Yes. Do you need to do something else? If you do it today, but don't feel bad, right? It's that guilt thing that can just tear you up.
Yep.
Yeah. Number 3 is sleep.
8 hours.
I was awake from
8 hours
1:30 to 3:30 last night doing the woman thing. So sleep is critical to our bodies. Critical.
I notice you're not making any suggestions on how to get better sleep.
I don't know how to yet.
Everybody's got their formula for doing that.
I mean, I teach it. It's part of the things I teach at my classes.
I understand. But part of what you're doing is you're getting to bed at a decent time.
Yep.
Most of the time.
Yep.
You're doing activities prior to bedtime that allow you to slow down.
It's called sleep hygiene. You set a specific time, whether it's the weekend or not, when you're going to go to sleep. And then sleep hygiene is the routine you're doing.
So I want you to think about the amount of sleep and the quality of sleep you're getting right now compared to what you did before we started this Heartiness approach journey.
Oh, yeah. This is way better. But
Yeah.
last night was just a rare night.
Right. I mean, we used to get to bed really late, up really early, and probably not have good sleep while we were doing
I was reading an article this week, and it said, so you have to just find out which type of a person you are. Are you a late night owl, or are you an early riser? And I'm like, yes, I do both.
Not very well. I mean, they hurt.
It hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts. All right, number 4 is to drink lots of fluids, not fluids with sugar in them. Although it does say try to do some juicing from natural.
And what I was concerned about when it said, juices, fruit juices.
Not fruit. The kind we juice.
Yeah.
And it said take regular.
But what they didn't mention is that the sugar content is really high because you're concentrating.
Right.
Just what you're turning into juice has more sugar in it per ounce than when it was in whatever you juiced it from.
So use 1 apple, 1/2 of an orange,
Don't juice more than you would eat in one setting.
Right. Ooh, that's a little hard.
It is a little hard, but when you think about what you're doing, I mean, if it's something with a high sugar content, you're spiking your sugar. So you better be eating some other foods at that time that are going to counteract the sugar.
Yes, for sure. For sure. Okay, so this is the list. The things that you'll need: fresh fruit, leafy green vegetables, water, yoga classes, meditation, and sleep. That's what we need to be able to boost our immune system. And it says make sure you're getting out and getting vitamin D, but don't. And it says if you are on a steroid, the sun can do a lot worse things to you, so don't be in the bright
overdo
sun.
it.
Yeah. So this has been a real wake up for me. I mean, I didn't want the shot. I didn't want to fall. And I didn't fall. I tripped.
It's different.
I didn't just...
Tell that to the splat on the ground, right?
The worst thing was I knew I had to come in and call him and tell him. I said, Jim, I'm going to tell you something that you don't want to know. And I just may as well tell you right now that as soon as I start talking about it, I'm going to cry because I was so hurting right then. And I did. And then I was fine. That's okay. but you guys, your hands are really important. And somehow my hands are giving me a run for my money. So I had to teach a class that day. And I finally got to where I could use the white marker, the marker for the whiteboard, but I had to have somebody else take it off because I couldn't do it. Anyway, there are many of you out there on steroids. There are many of you out there on things that are causing anti-inflammatory. So we have to counter those with good things. And it's all common sense things. Our diet, our stress, our fluid, our rest, and our exercise. All of it has to be done.
This week, one of our subscribers asked a very special question, and Rhenda is going to answer it.
Her name is Darlene, and she said, I just came across your channel and find it very interesting. I will soon be 68, and due to an accident, I am left with physical issues. I am retired, but have to use the food bank on a monthly basis, so was wondering if you could help with the nutritional benefits since I get rice, pasta, cereal, peanut butter, and canned goods. I do get beans and use them quite often. I loved this question. It just really was dear to my heart. Now, our background right now is a food pantry. And we are going to offer some suggestions and ask you, our audience, to also offer some suggestions.
Help our neighbors.
Help our neighbors. Jim will tell you that when we are talking about putting together some kind of a business or where we could help someone, I am always wanting to help someone. And he goes, Rhenda, that's really good, but we can't get paid for that. So helping someone is really dear to my heart. So,
and it's important, don't get me wrong, but helping somebody is not a business.
No, it's not. He always tells me that.
It's a great thing to do.
He always tells me that. And so when we're putting together our business that we are going to be doing in the future, part of it I've already set aside of this is the volunteer part. This is the part that I'm doing for free to help the community. So that's what this video is about, Darlene. You are far from the only person who has this question, and we're going to try to start answering it. One thing I want you to do is go on to Google and Google food pantry recipes. You will be so surprised at how many recipes come out of what to do with the food that you get. So what we're going to do is tell you to do a couple of things. First of all, only get the items that you know are going to help you. Like if they've got pastries, don't get those. If they've got cold cereal, if you want some cold cereal, get Cheerios or something that's not full of sugar. But get hot cereal, grits, oatmeal, millet, all kinds of things like that that you can have for cereal. There's hot cereal. Take a can of corn and a can of tomatoes and add those together and make a salsa type thing to go on. The one thing you want to try to get somewhere else is your cooking oil. Don't cook in vegetable oil because that damages your body so much. If at all possible, let's figure out a way to get you some butter instead of
real butter, not margarine.
Let's figure out a way to go to the farmer's market. A lot of farmer's market offer the food stamps or some reduced something for people that can't afford the whole thing. Beans are great. What you want to do with a lot of your canned goods is the beans, I find if I wash them off, then they're not as gassy, because I don't know what they do to canned beans, but they can be a lot gassier than other beans. And I appreciate all the people on this recording, on this video this time, who gave suggestions about how to cook beans that aren't so gassy. I thought that was great. If you didn't see it, go down and read. There's so many wonderful ideas, and thank you so much for all your comments. I had a long list of recipes, but I'm going to tell you, just go and Google. There are food pantry companies, and they just had lines and lines and lines of these recipes that you can use. If you have the chance to get brown rice instead of white rice, do that. And Jim and I, what did we do in Salvation Army in Missouri?
Couple of things. What, I'm not sure what you're.
When we went to the food pantry.
We helped people get food.
And their food there was donated from different companies, and they always had different foods. And so sometimes they would have brown rice. Sometimes they have organic things. Sometimes they had really healthy things.
Yes.
And so always try to get the healthiest items that you can get. You can like get yams in their cans, and there's one of the recipes was how to make really good things out of the yams. And just I want our audience to start to put down below ideas for you, Darlene, because there are so many of you out there that need to know.
Want to eat right, want to do right, and you don't have as much available to you as some people do.
You're not going to be able to eat the exact things that we eat. But what you're going to do is the very best you can and eliminate those things that you don't have to do. So, is that good?
Very good.
Did we cover that?
We covered it.
I mean, I'd like to show you in my food pantry how to make more, but I don't have most of the stuff in my food. And we've got weird lights going on.
The lighting outside is changing on us. It's getting brighter.
So, if you can't tell, we got a green screen behind us, and we are trying things out. We'll probably get a different camera to put on it, and it might work better at night when there's no.
It will work better at night.
Anyway, we got tired. We had it all planned, so we were going to be outside and do all of these things, and then the wind came up, and we just can't do it in the wind.
You just can't get good recordings in the wind.
So, I do want to talk about one idea, one more thing. And that is one item I learned this week. And I was going to save it for next time, but I feel it's so important. Eating right is so important. And in the 1970s, there were 5 things that happened that made our diets go bad. And last week we talked about depression. And when our diets went bad, we went from happy people to an unhappy people. And the number one thing that went bad was we went on a low-fat diet. And the low fats also took a lot of the proteins out because meat was saturated fat. And so they took that out of our diet. And so that was one of the things that caused bad things to happen. Number 2.
And with the proteins went the amino acids that are so essential.
Yes, so essential. And the amino, thank you for bringing that up, because it's the amino acids that provide the serotonin, the dopamine, and the endorphins and the GABA. And those 4 are happy, health, happy, make our mood. And it's been trashed. The second thing that came in from the low fat and the low protein was, you know what, maybe we should change this background, because I think the background is because of the light. Oh, this is nice. We decided to change to a more serene.
We wanted a little bit of serenity, so we brought the serenity in.
Yeah. The number 2 item that happened in the 1970s was the high fructose sugar that changed everything in our diet. The third item that changed, we talked about it earlier, was the dwarf wheat and the increased gluten, which caused increased inflammation and all these autoimmune diseases. The 4th thing is called voluntary starvation. It's when everybody decided to go on diets, go on different diets, not just talking about bulimia and anorexia, but all the weird diets that are out there. That didn't used to happen. The last one has to do with the addictions of the sugars and any alcohol drugs, things like that that we've been on, anybody's been on, causes your blood sugar to go up and to be super unstable and then to come down. And most people live in a flux of hypoglycemia most of the time. And that does not give our brain what it needs in order to function at optimal. And so all of those 5 items together, I'll go over them again: the low protein, low fat diet, the high fructose, the dwarf, high gluten wheat, the voluntary starvation diets that we've been on, and unstable blood sugars all cause huge mood swings. America did not used to have this. We did not have, I think they said that in the 50s there was 1% diabetes, and now it's 50% diabetes. We need to be aware of those items, and that's what's happening in the world around us, and make the changes to help ourselves. Well, I'm happy you're home.
I'm happy to be here.
Can we go to that lake?
We could go to that lake, but not this afternoon.
Where is it?
But that's right below Mount Hood.
Did I start out this video by saying I missed Oregon?
You did, actually.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching. Got my honey back.